Born and raised on a farm near Ironwood in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, Don Koivisto has always held agriculture in high regard. He served 3 terms each, first in the Michigan State House and then in the Michigan Senate. And from 2007 to 2010, Don Koivisto was the director of the Michigan Department of Agriculture.
In the House, I was on the House Ag Committee, and I chaired it for 1 term. And then in the Senate, I was on the Senate Appropriations Committee, and I dealt with the agriculture budget. So I was very familiar with what goes on with agriculture, and also many of the good quality key players that there are in agriculture, the stakeholders. And I began watching then what goes on in the ag machinations of government, and I didn't plan on at that time being ag director, but what ended up happening is a lot of people told me that I should apply for it, and I gave it that effort and was successful.
During his years of service, he championed the cause of agriculture on several fronts. In part, issues dealt with right to farm, MDA's budget, migrant labor housing inspections, and the Specialty Crop Block Grant Program.
Specialty Crop Block Grant funds are made available to specialty crop groups on a competitive basis, and we can apply for and use that money to tackle unique research issues that pop up, promote our crop, educate consumers, a variety of things that money can be used for. And Don met with industry, many of us who had advocated and worked for that legislation, and asked us what we thought the program should look like, and then put a program together that worked. And Don saw the value, the economic impact, the potential of that program, and I think that the Michigan Specialty Crop Block Grant Program is a model for the nation.
With roughly 180 different commodities under the agricultural umbrella in Michigan, Don Koivisto was always looking to promote the state's food and fiber industry.
One of the things that he really was interested in is reaching out to the value-added and to the ag industry within the state of Michigan. And so we really started going around the state and meeting with food processors and meeting with some of the small agribusinesses. And Don was really an ambassador for agriculture, working with those industries and understanding how things operated and how they were part of the whole fabric and network of the ag in the food and ag sector in the state. And I think he brought that back to us as staff folks, and throughout the department we looked at ourselves as being ambassadors for the Department of Agriculture and for agriculture, the food and ag sector within the state of Michigan. And that was a very important thing to have happen, especially at that point in time.
The connection between Michigan's Department of Agriculture and Michigan State University is something Don Koivisto knew needed to be strong.
I first met Don when he became a director of MDA, and Don was always a very excellent cooperator with MSU. Really enjoyed the relationship with him when there were issues that crossed the 2 agencies. We could always have very good discussions about what we needed to do. He's a great supporter of Project Green, which was something that I was very involved with in those years, and overall was just a wonderful cooperator and really helped build strong bridges between MSU, state government, really for the benefit of all of the agricultural industry in Michigan.
There was a point in the past few years when the need for a Department of Agriculture was challenged. Director Koivisto, along with support from the industry, stood his ground.
I felt that would be a tragic mistake if that were allowed to happen. And we fought that very vigorously. Not only did several of us at MDA throw our weight around on that, but the stakeholders did. The people right out there in that audience listening, they helped tremendously. The farm organizations did. This was beautiful to see happen, to see everybody come together for a common cause, and that is to preserve the agricultural way of life. So I just felt tremendous with how we were able to head that off. Adequate money was obtained to run the budget. There was cuts, but still adequate money to run the budget. And the department remained intact, and today I believe going forward they will continue to be intact. But it wasn't a given. It was a vigorous fight to keep that.
One of those stakeholder groups was the Michigan Farm Bureau and its 48,000 farmer members. They were always appreciative of Don Koivisto's efforts.
My first interaction with Don Koivisto was when Michigan Farm Bureau was trying to get a zero-interest loan back in the early 2000s for, to help our farmers out when they were a bit stressed. This stress came not only from your primary crops, but your specialty crops also. I learned then as a member of the Senate Ag Committee that he was very supportive of agriculture. When he became director of Michigan Department of Agriculture, he became even more supportive. I think the greatest compliment that I could give Don Koivisto was said to me by a member of Governor Granholm's cabinet, and that was, Don Koivisto is just adamant about the role that agriculture plays in this economy and how supportive it is of Michigan's economy. That's a great compliment, and I couldn't think of a better one to say, congratulations, Don, on your award.
For his years of public service in the legislature and as director of the Department of Agriculture, for his unyielding commitment to the agriculture industry, the Michigan Vegetable Council is pleased to honor Don Koivisto with the Master Farmer Associate Award.